Breaking news from Now the End Begins. Facebook partners with Germany to launch anti-hate speech campaign. Brothers and sisters, this is more important than you think. Facebook Chief Operating Officer Sheryl Sandberg said hate speech has no place in our society, including in the internet. Did you hear that? Including in the internet. Facebook, internet, Facebook. Your freedom of speech, of speaking about sin, sodomites, and everything else, as I do, is going to be coming to a close quite soon. Facebook Incorporated began a Europe-wide campaign on Monday to thwart extremist posts on social media after German politicians in particular raised concerns about a rise in xenophobic comments linked to an influx of refugees. That's the new word they decided to make up from the mother harlot. I'm all in favor of removing posts by terrorist groups to help prevent the spread and to not allow them to use social media as a recruiting tool. But that's only part of Facebook's new campaign to control the global narrative on the Muslim migrant explosion. They also want to prevent people from posting stories and links that expose the Muslim migrant situation for what it truly is, an invasion. Facebook launched its initiative for civil courage online in Berlin, pledging over 1 million euros to support non-governmental organizations in their efforts to counter racist and xenophobic posts. Top German politicians and celebrities have voiced concern about the rise of anti-foreigner comments on Facebook and other social media as the country struggles to cope with the tide of new migrants that amounted to 1.1 million last year alone. Let's see, we have the Muslim migrants raping, pillaging, murdering, throwing acid on people, doing everything imagining to for their caliphate as they pose as the migrants. Yes, there are several of them are Christian migrants that we need to take care of or need to help, but I think it's quite a minority. And with the violence of all the true, remember, we have Russian President Vladimir Putin bombing Syria to run them out, whether they be Christian or not. Okay? So, to think that these are only Christian migrants would be ignorant. Anyway, as we move on here, Facebook Chief Operating Officer Sheryl Sandberg said hate speech has no place in our society, including in the internet. Notice that this is starting in Berlin. Chancellor Angela Merkel has urged Facebook to do more, and the Justice Ministry set up a task force with Facebook and other social networks and internet service providers with the aim of identifying criminal posts more quickly and taking them down. Criminal. It's a criminal to talk about criminals. You're a criminal to talk about sin. You're a criminal to talk about raping and killing, raping of women and just slaughtering people. It's chilling to think that Facebook and Merkel has launched this campaign in Berlin, the same place where in the 1930s Adolf Hitler held book-burning rallies to prevent opposing views from being shared. It is not hate speech to hold the opinion that there are Muslim jihadis mixed in with legitimate refugees and to post about that on social media. There is nothing hateful about the speaking the truth. Instead of admitting she made a mistake by letting in hundreds of thousands of undocumented Muslim migrants who then proceeded to rape and pillage their way across Germany, Merkel now wants to prevent people from talking about the horrific crimes being committed by Muslim migrants which she brought into the country. Consider the following. It sounds just like Hitler, doesn't it? And no wonder why the people of Germany are putting a mustache on her and giving her a Nazi uniform. Consider the following that has occurred in Germany since the Muslim migrants were allowed in. Although the rape took place in June, police kept silence about it for nearly 3 months until local media published a story about the crime. According to an editorial comment in the newspaper, Westfalen-Blatt police are refusing to go public about crimes involving refugees and migrants because they do not want to give legitimacy to critics of mass migration. Plus, they're instructed not to. A 13-year-old Muslim girl was raped by another asylum seeker at a refugee facility in Detmold, a city in west-central Germany. The girl and her mother reportedly fled their homeland to escape a culture of sexual violence. Approximately 80% of the refugees migrants at the shelter in Munich are male. 80%. The price for sex with female asylum seekers is 10 euros. Bavarian Broadcasting reports that police in the Bavarian town of Mering, where a 16-year-old girl was raped on September 11, has issued a warning to parents not to allow their children to go outside unaccompanied. In the Bavarian town of Pocking, administrators of the Wilhelm Dias Gymnasium have warned parents not to let their daughters wear revealing clothing in order to avoid misunderstandings. When Muslim teenage boys go to open-air swimming pools, they are overwhelmed when they see girls in bikinis. These boys, who come from a culture where for women it is frowned upon to show naked skin, will follow girls and bother them without their realizing it. Naturally, this generates fear, Bavarian politician quoted in Die Welt. A police raid on the Munich refugee facility found that guards hired to provide security at the site were trafficking drugs and weapons and were turning a blind eye to the prostitution. Meanwhile, the raping of German women by asylum seekers is becoming commonplace. All this and much, much more is happening in Germany right now. Any wonder why Angela Merkel doesn't want you posting about it? Okay, last question. So where is the Facebook campaign to stop anti-Semitism on Facebook? No, you won't find that. Because, if you actually do a search, I forgot his name. Who's this guy right here? The name of Facebook. Well, actually, it doesn't say, but I forgot his name. He's a total global elite, grandson of a global elite. I forgot his name at the moment, but yeah. He's part of the global elites, a very young one. Okay, so from before it's news, believe it or not, Mark Zuckerberg, Mr. Facebook, is grandson of David Rockefeller and AIG's Greenberg. This came out on August 18th of 2012, 3.5 years ago. Vatican note. So that is from this site over here, the Vatican Project. But then we also have another site called the Cure Zone, saying almost the same thing. This is an old standard practice of the Illuminati families to create illegitimate offspring, pay for their education, and use them in the end to further their agenda. That is how they keep trust alive with their conspirators. Remember, we did a blog on Solomon and his use of this practice to empt spies into other nations' governance in order to keep control over his kingdom. He eventually turned pagan and furthered his objectives through the use of illegit children. Remember, we also covered Clinton as an illegit offspring of Winthrop Rockefeller, Hitler as illegit grandson of Rothschild, and same with other leaders in government and industry and religions. So this is just a continuation of that practice. Now we know about it, so it won't do any good to continue it. I have been curious about Obama and his birth certificate, and if that is not the reason why it's such a big secret. So now we are fully informed about Facebook. He is also the grandson of Greenberg of AIG fame. This practice is a Rockefeller tool out of control. Well, if we go over here to the Cure Zone, okay, here's some more added to the story. Okay, so this is Greenberg. Zuckerberg thing is getting weirder by the second. Jacob Greenberg was arrested for possession of marijuana, and this mugshot was taken. It was later revealed that this could indeed be the man the world knows as Mark Zuckerberg. What do you think? Well, let me make it a little bit bigger for you. I think it matches him perfectly. But who knows? Jacob Greenberg was arrested for possession of marijuana, and this mugshot was taken. His family members include David Rockefeller, his grandfather, a little strange because Rothschild owns 8% of Facebook shares. Both Rothschild and Rockefeller are well-known names, tapped with one World Government Associations. And his other Grandpa Greenberg, CEO of AIG. Facebook was funded with $500 million from CIA-owned bank, which was a bit suspicious. Yeah, CIA is very corrupt. I wonder if Google has similar disguised progeny. Zuckerberg means sugar mountain. That's their secret world for Facebook, no doubt. A mountain of information from which they can extract billions, especially Christians. Bill Gates comes from a multi-billionaire eugenicist family which was kept well hidden in the early years of Microsoft. The same families control it all. TAP Blog is a collective of like-minded researchers and writers who join forces to distribute information and voice opinions avoided by the world's media. Just saying, it could very well be true. But you have to ask yourself, what is Angela Merkel doing with Mark Zuckerberg right now as she continues to destroy Germany, flooding in all these Muslim migrants, and some of them are legit, but most of them are not. Most of them are terrorists and very violent who are destroying her country. God bless and thank you for listening.